Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the G Perspective. I am your host, George Michael Perez, a.k.a. GMike. Y'all already know what it is, baby. It's been a few weeks that I haven't been on here, man. Just been mad busy, but it is what it is. And I think three weeks. So now we're getting back into it. The NBA is up and popping. NFL mid-season, people already getting into playoff contention mode. So it's getting tough. It's getting intense out there for sure. Before we get into the episode, follow me on my socials, Twitter at George Mike Perez, IG, TikTok, YouTube, GMike Media _, and then the audio version of the podcast is under the G Perspective on all podcast platforms. So this week, I'm bringing on a classmate of mine, one of my boys, big time Jacksonville Jags fans, big time Detroit Pistons fan. And then we get into the whole Kyrie Irving situation drama that's going on right now with the Brooklyn Nets and the NBA. So please welcome on my boy, my classmate, Richard Moss, a.k.a. Dicky, and let's get into it. Dicky, how you doing, my boy?
What's up, G? Money, what's good with you, man?
Chilling. You know me, working hard, living life. Can't complain.
That's a fact, man. That's a fact.
You?
I'm telling you. See, I'm in front of Little Caesars Arena. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to watch my Pistons. I'm ready to watch my Pistons.
That boy getting paid out there just to put at that Little Caesar Arena quick. You fly out in the morning, do the podcast, fly out.
Listen, hey, it be like that sometimes. You feel me?
Yeah, man. Well, we got some. I know it was a little exciting weekend for you. Later on, we'll talk about your Jags coming back on the Raiders. That was a wild second half. And then we'll talk about we'll get into your Pistons too. I know it's a rough start to the year, but I feel like there's some upside to it. But for right now, we're gonna go with the hot topic, man, going around the NBA, bro, with this Kyrie Irving situation, man, and this guy, it's crazy. So I'm gonna just give out the facts right now. The NBA is suspending him 5 games and giving him demands on what he has to do before he returns, and those demands go as apologize and condemn the movie that he was talking about on the anti-Semitic against Jews. $500,000 donation to anti-hate causes, sensitivity training, anti-Semitic training, meet with ADL, which are the Jewish leaders, and then meet with Joe Tsai, if I'm saying that right, Tsai, to demonstrate.
Josiah.
Tosa?
Yeah, Josiah.
To demonstrate understanding on what he did and how they can fix it moving forward. So before we get into it, I just want to know how you feel about the situation.
Okay. So let me just preface my comments by saying I believe that anybody can believe whatever they want to. Again, this is a free country. You should be able to think freely, believe whatever it is that you want to believe. Now, with that being said, when you start, what's the word I'm looking for? When you start voicing your beliefs or trying to influence others and condemn other people's beliefs, I think that's where the issue is. In my opinion, I just think Kyrie handled the situation completely wrong and not necessarily about what he did. Okay, you tweeted a link out about a documentary that has a lot of anti-Semitic, viewpoints and things of that nature. My thing is, Kyrie always wants to make it seem like he's the smartest person in the room, that he does this. So it seems like to me on this one, he didn't necessarily do his research, because obviously if you watch that documentary, you would have seen how much, hateful stuff was spewed in the documentary. But maybe there was some good information if that's what Kyrie thinks. Kyrie could have easily came out and said, look, I tweeted the link to this movie, which we all know social media is a promotion. For you to try to say, oh, I didn't promote it. You have however many million followers. No matter what you put on your social media, people are going to gravitate towards it because you're an influential figure. because he played professional basketball. So okay, boom, you tweeted out the link. Okay, fine. You could have easily came out and said, "Look, you got it. Yes, I did tweet out the link." And while this movie has hateful messages and things, that's not what I was trying to promote. I was trying to promote this XYZ, and people would have been like, "Okay, cool, got it." Do I think Kyrie Irving is anti-Semitic? No, I don't. Do I think, he tries to make himself out to be this deep thinker and he's different than us and stuff like that? Yeah, sometimes. But again, a simple apology, I think, would have fixed everything. But for him to stand on it and now to kind of create this whirlpool, because I mean that's what it. Listen, Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, is Jewish. So you have to think like it's bigger than Kyrie. It's bigger than the Brooklyn Nets. This is that we all know how when hateful messages are said, what things happen. You look at what's your boy that used to play for the Heat that said that one derogatory term when he's playing Call of Duty.
Yeah.
He's no longer in the league anymore. I think Miles Leonard. Is it Miles Leonard?
Miles Leonard. Yep.
Yeah.
That was
So
like 2-3 years
so what?
ago.
Yeah, exactly. So what I'm saying is that I fear that I think Kyrie will play this year. I don't think Kyrie has played his last game this year because again, he's still owed what 37 million or something for the rest of the year. I know he has to donate the $500,000 to the that organization, but
But to him,
I
that's nothing,
fear,
really.
of course, but I fear that because I think Kyrie is going to stand on because if you be honest, he still hasn't yet he didn't necessarily apologize. And it wasn't until they announced the suspension that then that apology came out with the statement. But if I'm be honest, I don't think that's sincere. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah,
When you're sincerely sorry about something, like you come out right and say, like when you bump into somebody or step on somebody's shoe, oh, excuse me, my bad, I'm sorry. It's instant. It's right there because you're genuinely sorry. You didn't mean to. But when you take a stand and you stand on it, you got to be able to deal with the consequences. And I fear that this could be, if Kyrie doesn't change some stuff, like change his actions, I fear this could probably be Kyrie's last year in the NBA because no matter how immensely talented you are, nobody at a point, it gets to a point, you know what I'm saying? I know Shannon Sharp talks about talent and tolerance all the time. They're going to tolerate you as long as your talent can carry. But once that's up, it's sayonara. You feel me?
yeah,
So,
because you got so many people. Imagine, off the top of my head, I'm just gonna say a number. I think 5% of the people make the NBA in the world. 5% of the people make the NBA. And if
mhm,
you're out here, like you said, the tolerance, like you got talent, but they're only gonna tolerate so much. So you got so many
that's a
people in
fact.
line that want to take your spot, that are working each and every day, that will stay quiet in front of the cameras and stuff. So they're,
Mhm,
they're gonna be quick to replace you, even though you're one of the top players in the NBA right now. They're
that's a
still
fact.
they're still not gonna they're not gonna worry about that. They're gonna be like, yo, you're an entertainer, so we're gonna take you
Hmm.
off because we want to put this guy in because of what you're saying and this and that. And I
Yeah.
don't necessarily agree with that, but that's just the world we live in, man. It's a private
Hmm.
organization.
Hmm.
If you really want to say your own stuff in your own company, like even then, like they probably still try to cancel you and stuff. But
Hmm.
like you're an employee of the NBA. If you think that you're
Yeah.
above people because you're getting paid millions of dollars, you can't forget that these coaches are getting paid millions of dollars. The owners are the ones that are paying you. They're making billions of dollars. So if they want to,
Hmm.
they'll kick you out, you know?
Yeah.
But I want to go back to a few things that you said. So one,
Hmm.
and if you don't really have an answer on this, we'll just move on from it.
Hmm.
But you
Okay.
said that when he was watching the movie and he posted that link that he wanted to promote something, but it wasn't the thing that people sought out to be. What do you think that he was trying to promote while posting that link?
I think what he was trying to promote. Again, I don't know Kyrie Irving
Yeah,
personally, so
yeah,
I'm just gonna
of
go
course.
off based off what I know. I'm thinking
It's
he was
hypothetical,
trying to.
people. Hypothetical.
Yeah, exactly. Hypothetical. I thought he was trying to say that black people are the original Jews. Like Again, I am black, so I know a lot of people in the black community, and I know some people that have had that same type of belief about how, black people are the original Israelites, and all these things. Again, I don't have all the information because I've never done all of that research myself personally, but
Yeah,
that's what I think that he was trying to promote, which again is fine. If you're trying to find yourself or find an understanding of where you come from, that's perfectly fine. What I'm saying is the only issue, in my opinion, is when you push that link out. When you push that link out and you don't provide any context, you leave so much stuff up for interpretation. If
exactly.
G Money just comes out and you post a picture, I'm like, dang, that picture is kind of, what I'm saying? What did G Money mean by that? Oh,
Yeah,
he didn't put no context. Oh, I'm gonna put, well, G Money from the G perspective. He doesn't like this group of people. He doesn't like this because he posted this when it couldn't even, when it wasn't even that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I said, if Kyrie was truly apologetic or really wanted to apologize, as soon as the link went out, right? You There's no way that you don't know. You have a platform that reaches millions. You know, every time a celebrity, an athlete posts, it's screenshotted. It's this, is that. Even accidental stuff that's up for a couple seconds. Remember the issue with Draymond Green on Snapchat a couple years ago? Like
mhm,
that's how it is. That's how it is. So you have to be smarter in the way that you move. You know what I'm saying? You're
definitely.
not, Joe Schmo who lives in Indiana. No, you're Kyrie Irving. You have millions of followers. You're on TV every night. You're one of the best basketball players, of all time. Like, you're a different person. So you have to move differently. I'm not saying you have to believe differently. You can believe whatever you want.
Hmm.
But let's think about it. Let's be honest. Kyrie is not the only person that probably thinks like that. There's probably
Yeah,
a bunch of
facts,
people that think
facts.
like that. There's probably racist people in the NBA, prejudiced people in the NBA, people that discriminate. We hear about it all the time, but they keep themselves quiet, unknown, and they do that in, whether it be in the privacy of their own home. That, again, I'm not trying to say that makes it right, but your actions have consequences, whether those
Exactly.
consequences are good or bad. You know what I'm saying? And again, if Kyrie would have just came out, gave it context, said this is what I was promoting, or this is what I liked about the documentary, or this is the information that I wanted to put there, I don't think we would have an issue. But for him to stand on his sword, it might be detrimental to his NBA career.
Yep. Yep. And then the other thing I wanted to touch on is the fact that you were saying that he'll probably come back this year and then probably be
Mhm.
his last year in the NBA. So you think that he's going to meet these demands to come back to the Brooklyn Nets anytime soon?
Yes, and again, the reason why I say that is because, yes, I know Kyrie wants to stand, but as you did see, he did have the apology, the official apology, which he said, "I'm sorry again." Still didn't think that was genuine, but he was able to do that. I'm pretty sure he's going to give the $500,000. It says you just have to have a sit down with Joe Tsai. Doesn't necessarily say they have to be on the same page. I think he can
Yeah.
do all of that again for this season. And from everything that I've heard and I've read, Joe Tsai, the owner of the Brooklyn Nets, is pretty much done with Kyrie. The only reason he is still even tolerating him is because, again, he does owe him that 37 mil, and I don't think they want to cut him, but or unless they just gonna give him the money to go away. But even then, like I said, just this 1 year, I think would it could potentially be Kyrie's last, unless Kyrie comes out, like I said, and just condemns, everything that he says, or just says that, I'm not gonna discuss it anymore, and because it's not gonna stop following him. Even if he goes to another team, what's the first question they're gonna ask? Oh, Kyrie, do you still have those certain beliefs? Remember that movie you tweeted out a year ago, 2 years ago? So
Yeah, it's always gonna pop up.
this will, yeah, in fact, this will follow Kyrie for the rest of his career if he does have a career. But I think he will meet those demands and again play this year. but next year I'm not too sure.
Yeah, so I like Kyrie as a basketball player. I don't know him as a person, and obviously us, me and you, we're both in the same program, sportscasting. So we're gonna be a sports reporter in the next upcoming months or years or whatever, how long it takes. But we analyze the game, we analyze the players who play the game, and we analyze the players on how they play the game and what they're doing for the
Mm-hmm.
game. We don't really analyze on their personal beliefs or nothing like that. So I don't really like to get
Hmm.
into it, right? But
Of
when
course.
it comes to Kyrie, he's always putting himself, like you said, like he thinks like he's the smartest person in the room. And
Hmm.
if you really think that, that's fine. But like sometimes you gotta know when to just like stay quiet and like be the smartest person right here in the room. You get
Hmm.
what I'm saying?
That's
And
right.
with him, like I said, I like him as a basketball player. I think he's one of the top NBA players right now. But when it comes to this, I don't think that he's gonna swallow his pride. I think that he's gonna be too prideful and he's not gonna meet these demands and he's not gonna come back and play. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong because I love to see him play. This guy is an art form out there. The way he dribbles the ball, the way he shoots, his offensive play is amazing. But
Hmm.
again, I don't think he's gonna swallow his pride. I don't think he's gonna meet these demands, and I don't think that he's gonna play ever again. Uh,
Oh, that would be tough. Listen, I
yeah,
if that's the case, I can't wait for that 30 to 30 to come out in 10, 15 years. So
yeah, that's gonna
that's
be
that's
that's
gonna
gonna
be
be
crazy.
fire
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, Kyrie downfall. Like that's
Yeah,
gonna be crazy.
yeah.
Oof. Well, hope you're wrong, man. For real,
Yeah,
for real.
no. I hope I'm wrong too, man. But you know what? We're gonna switch gears right here, man. Get a more up
Hmm.
tempo beat, man. Not really that much up tempo, man. Detroit Pistons right now, man. Two
Don't
and
do that.
eight.
Don't do that.
Hey, you know
Don't
me, man. You know me, Dicky. 2 and 8,
don't do that.
last place in the East, bro. Before we get into how some of the
But
players are
hold
playing,
on, hold on.
because okay,
Hold on.
okay,
14th in the East. Okay, the Magic are below us as well because we beat the Magic game one. So technically,
okay,
we're
okay,
14th in the
okay. So
East.
it updated recently. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
my
Yeah.
fault.
Give
That's
us
my fault.
give
Okay,
give us
second last
some.
place in the East. I correct myself, folks.
Yeah.
Second last.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't
You know what
worry,
I'm saying?
Miami's 13-12. Don't worry, don't worry. We're right there with
That's fine. That's fine.
you. So that last game you guys lost was on November 4th against the Cavs. Cavs are a tough team right now. They're 7-1.
Yes, they are.
They're gonna be top
Yes,
in the
they
East.
are.
You guys
Yes,
lost
they are.
112-88. The
Mm-hmm.
next game you guys play is tonight against the Oklahoma City Thunder at home.
Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
can see you guys winning that game. Cade Cunningham, the boy is averaging 21.4 points, 6.3
Mm-hmm.
assists, and 6 rebounds. Okay. And then you got the
Yep.
rookie Jaden Ivey averaging 15.0,
Yes,
3.3
sir.
assists, and 4.2 rebounds. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So how you feeling about your team right now? I know it's early in the season. There's still a lot of
Mm-hmm.
weeks left in the NBA, but
Yeah, of
how you
course.
feeling
Of
about
course.
them right now?
My realistic opinion. So prior to the season, I said that I think that we could make the play-in tournament, and I think we can still do that. Ninth or
Yeah.
10th seed in the Eastern Conference. And the reason I say that is because, like you just articulated, the emergence of Cade Cunningham. I really and truly have to, apologize to Cade because last year when he got drafted, after maybe let's say the first couple weeks, I was so into Jalen Green down in Houston because he was just putting on a show. I was like, oh my goodness, did we pick the wrong person? Like, was Cade gonna be that? But then, Cade, as the season, progressed, started to really come into form. That started to really come into form and all of that good stuff. So I really love Cade now, and not only that, I got his autograph. So, I'm saying, listen, I got to keep that. You feel me? But
I say
the
hanging up on the wall.
Pistons,
I forgot on the wall
as a
behind you.
fact, yeah, yeah, it's right behind me. But no, in all honesty, I still do think that we can make a plan. I mean, look, the Eastern Conference. Let's be honest. It's when it comes to the bottom of the tiers of teams, it's been very winnable. I mean, the ninth or the 10th seed maybe might take 30, 35 games. Let's be honest, like
Yeah.
30, 35 games. And I think that's doable. with Cade Cunningham, with Ivy, Sadiq Bey is our leading scorer on our team right now. Like, he's really coming into his own as a, a big forward, putting in a lot of minutes at the three position for us. So I think we're good. I honestly think that we have a decent enough team to compete at the bottom of the Eastern Conference. Now, if we do make the play-in, if we lose, or we end up facing one of the top tier teams in the Eastern Conference, we're more than likely going to lose. But as a Pistons fan, as a real deal Pistons fan, or any sports teams that I love, I want to see incremental progression. You know what I'm saying? I know everything doesn't happen in 1 year, and you just, don't make the playoffs to the NBA finals. It usually doesn't happen like that. There's usually a progression. You start building with young talent. You start bringing in old veterans. And again, I like how the Pistons were going. I will also say that I think we spoke last time when I was on your podcast how I wasn't necessarily the biggest fan of Dwayne Casey, just because he doesn't move it for me. I would have loved to get Ime Udoka, but I guess Brooklyn, they got other plans. You know what I'm saying? I'd love Ime Udoka, but so that, to me, I think that's probably like our next step. I think we need to get a coach that can really resonate with these young players and really get them motivated. I just don't see Dwayne Casey as that. I think he's just a regular coach. No disrespect to Dwayne Casey, but I just think he's just he's an okay coach.
Yeah.
Kind of like when we had Stan Van Gundy. Like, they're just okay coaches, but you need coaches in the NBA that are gonna motivate players, really get them to buy in and play. And I just don't see that with Dwayne Casey. So I think that's probably going to be our next. If we don't make the play-in, or we don't, well, now I'm about to say what I'm going to say. I probably don't want us to make it, but if we don't make the play-in, we miss the playoffs again, I think Dwayne Casey will probably be relieved of his duties. If we do make it, and there's like another coaching candidate that we think could really help us, I think he'll probably get relieved of his duties. But we'll see. But the Pistons, yes, my realistic expectations is playing either the 9th or the 10th seed in the Eastern Conference, and we can go from there.
Yeah, I think with the coaching situation, man, like I've heard on several different podcasts, I think a great coach for you guys would be Mark Jackson. I think Mark Jackson,
Yeah.
the things that I've heard from several players like Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, and some other players that were in the Warriors that went to other teams, they
Mm-hmm.
basically say the same thing about Mark Jackson, that he comes in and he's nitty and gritty and he's going to get you to work
Mm-hmm.
hard each and every day and he's going to give you the confidence. Like, he's not going to go out there and like just chew you out because you messed up in here and there. Like, no, he's going to come up
Mm-hmm.
to you, chew you out. Yeah, for sure. But then he's gonna be like, "Yo, you can do this, bro. Like, yo, you're one of the
Yeah.
nastiest players in the game. You're one of the nastiest defenders in the game. You got so much energy,
Yeah.
this and that, blah 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 blah." I think that he would go in and actually give you guys like this spark that you need. That like how you saying about Dwayne Casey, that he doesn't really move you. Like, he's more like a
Yeah.
game manager type coach,
Yeah.
in my
Exactly.
opinion. So I think
Yeah.
having like Mark Jackson out there will be great for you guys for sure. But going back to Kate Cunningham, man, I love the way that the guy's playing because I was on the same
Me too.
version like you. Like, I was looking at
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Green, I'm like, damn, I think this guy's gonna be better than Cade, bro. Just
Killing it
because,
in Houston.
yeah, just because of his offensive play. You get me? Like,
Yeah.
this guy could score a
Mm-hmm.
will, bro. Probably a 45-inch vertical, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But Cade, bro, he brings this like serious attitude, this serious
Yeah.
personality that he's like up for no bullshit on the
Yep.
defensive and offensive end. So I feel like
Yes.
he's gonna have more of a mindset to win than Jalen Green is. If
Yeah.
that makes any sense.
It makes sense 1,000%, especially on the defense. I didn't even talk about Cade's defensive, because let's be honest, in the NBA, when you talk about playing defense, it's all about want to, or will. Like, how
Yeah.
do you want it bad enough? And I will say, as much as I love Jalen Green down in Houston and stuff, he's not a defensive guy. He
No.
doesn't necessarily play defense, and he's a little bit undersized. Cade is a lot bigger. He can move. He can defend your 1 through 3. Maybe even put him on a 4. I mean, he's not that big, but he could do it if he wanted to.
Yeah.
So I really like Cade's defense. He plays on both ends of the floor. So he's really rounding out, into his own. So I I love Cade Cunningham, and again, I definitely have to apologize that I wanted Jalen Green for a little bit of time over him, but I really love Cade's game, and I think that's what you need. You need a guy that okay, we know that this is Cade Cunningham's team. I know Ivy just came in, and who knows, Ivy could even turn out to kind of be better than Cade in some areas or whatever the case might be. But I like Cade because he can bring it together. He can run the offense, facilitate. Like you said, he can score if he needs to, and he was willing to play defense. He's not just a, you know, offensive guy. And back to your Mark Jackson point, I kind of agree with that. I really do enjoy the Mark Jackson thing. I think nowadays it's the coaches that get their teams to buy into defense. You know what I'm saying? That would, because let's be honest, the NBA, damn near everybody can score. Everybody's talented.
Yeah,
There's a
facts.
lot of guys in the league that can go get you a bucket, but can you stop that guy that can get a bucket from getting a bucket? That's the real question. You look at teams that have had success, like the Miami Heat, Eric Spoelstra and that thing, playing defense, emphasizing defense. Ime Udoka last year with the Celtics, that defensive proud, it's so important is defense. And I think it gets lost nowadays because we're just so enamored with offense, like, oh, dunks, threes, and this and that. No, you play defense. Look at those years the Warriors were on top. Yeah, they were exceptional offensively, but they were in top three in defense every year because you got to play defense. We already saw that yeah, you can score 120 points a game, that's fine, but if your opponent scores 121, you lose the game. And Mike D'Antoni and the Suns taught us that in the mid 2000s, years ago, that all offense and no defense, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. You have to lock your opponent down from time to time. You have to get stops. You feel me?
Yeah. No, yeah, 100%. Because if not, there's no hope for you to win the game. If you ain't getting those stops, you could
That's a
go
fact.
shot for shot. But man,
Mm-hmm.
once one team buckles down and starts playing defense, that's it. That's when the game turns around for sure. That
That's a fact.
the
And that's the
Celtics struggle
Brooklyn
with
Nets. That's a Brooklyn Nets problem right now.
that. Yep.
All offense and no defense. It's
Mhm.
not going to work for you.
Yeah, so what you touched on Jaden Ivey a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
What I like about Jaden Ivey, I feel like he could be that second guy to Cade. Like they're gonna have that 1-2 punch. I think Ivy
Yeah.
will ultimately down the road score more points than Cade because he's gonna become the two guard while Cade is running
Yep.
the offense. So I think it's gonna be a good 1-2 punch. And like you said, it's Sadiq Bey.
Mm-hmm.
If he start, well, not if he starts because he's already doing it. If he consistently keeps playing the way that he's playing, it'll be a good big guy for them. So all they would really need is to have like a couple more shooters because I think Bogdan Bogdanovic, he's that
Mm-hmm.
piece that they brought in to start giving their offense a more scoring outlet, and I think it was
Yeah.
good. But I feel like they bring in someone else that could come off the bench as well, and
Mm-hmm.
I think you guys are right there. No lie.
Yeah. Nah, I couldn't agree with you. I think I did like the Bogdanovich pickup in the offseason from Utah. You're right. I mean, I think we need shooters because again, we have guys that can put the ball on the floor and get to the basket in Ivy, in Sadiq. Cade can do it, from time to time. So, and if you think about it, those guys, Dan Ivy is long, super long, very lanky. To me, he kind of reminds me of like a Brandon Ingram type. Obviously, I'm not saying he's Brandon Ingram, but he
Yeah,
has like that type.
the
Very
physique.
long, very long, very lanky. Can really use his length to his advantage. So, I'm really impressed with that. Uh, Again, like you said, I love Jaden Ivey. I think he will really kind of become that two guard, and maybe Sadiq will probably be at the three because Sadiq is just a little bit bigger than Ivy, so he got a little bit more bricks in his back pocket. So I'm telling you that's a good foundation, like you said. Bogdanovich coming over, shooter. Maybe if we can get some more shooters and stuff like that, to really kind of just fill out the rest of our team. I think we'll be okay. I'm interested to see, what they're looking at, before the trade deadline. February is always an interesting month for the NBA because you got All Star and you also have the trade deadline. So I'm ready to see if we make a move. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Yeah. Hopefully you make a move at the coaching position. Get Mark Jackson in there. Hopefully Dwayne Casey or someone in that Pistons organization is watching this right now. They're like, yo, good point about Mark Jackson. Hold on.
There's nothing wrong with I would appreciate that. I just think, nothing against Dwayne Casey, but I'm just saying when you get, coach of the year and you get fired the same year you win that award, it's very telling.
Tough. That's
There's no
tough.
disrespect to Dwayne Casey. I mean, he just kept running into LeBron. If LeBron wasn't in the
Yeah.
East, do the Raptors make the finals? Probably. The Raptors had some pretty good teams those years, so probably. But at the end of the day, I just, I don't see Dwayne Casey being the one to get us over the hump. And again, I love Dwayne Casey, but
Yeah. Well, it's still early in the season for sure. We're only
yes, it is.
4 weeks in. Like I said,
Mm-hmm,
tonight you guys play against the Oklahoma City Thunder at home, and
mm-hmm.
hopefully you guys win that game, man. Because you guys need
We,
that
we
spark,
shall
baby. You
see.
need that momentum.
Yeah, I think we should be good. I mean, they don't have Chet right now. I think Josh Giddey might still be hurt. I'm not sure. I gotta look. I didn't check the injury report, but
Yeah,
I mean, I think we should be good. But SGA is nasty. I don't know who's gonna listen.
facts.
Cade gonna have his hands full because SGA, that man is a load, no homie.
Yeah,
That
bro.
man is a load.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so we're gonna switch up to your next favorite team here in
Mm-hmm.
a different sport in football. And bro,
Yeah.
what a freaking game yesterday! So the Jacksonville
Mhm.
Jaguars hosted the Las Vegas Raiders, and just quick, the Raiders have been a great disappointment this year. It's it's
Super.
it's 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 insane. But the
Mm-hmm.
Raiders were up 20-0 in the second quarter. And then before
Mm-hmm.
halftime, the Jaguars ended up putting a TD. Right now, you guys just won. You guys won 27-20. But
Mm-hmm.
5 games before that, you guys were on a terrible 5-0
Losing
losing
streak.
streak. Yeah, it's tough.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough. And you guys in your division, you got the Tennessee Titans right now, who are 5-3. They just lost to the Kansas City Chiefs last night,
Mm-hmm.
but they're 3-0 in the division, so that's pretty
Mm-hmm.
tough too. Um, so let me just ask you about the team. How you feeling about the Jags right now after that win last night against the Raiders?
So again, I can't be a hypocrite and I can't lie to you, but I said that before the season started, I figured, we were gonna win anywhere from 6 to 7 games. And while that's low, I just felt like marginally that was good. Dougie P coming in, Trevor Lawrence in his second year. Again, last year was a complete wash,
Yeah, that
between the
was bad.
Urban Meyer situation and all the stuff that was going on in Jacksonville and and all of that stuff. Now, we would have some stability. I thought Dougie P would kind of bring that championship pedigree from Philadelphia to Jacksonville, which is cool. I still like Dougie P. I thought it would really simplify the offense for Trevor Lawrence because, if you think about it, what he did when Carson Wentz went down and Nick Foles took over the reins in Philly, he really simplified that offense, put Nick Foles into positions that were really good. And I
Mhm.
figured he would do the same thing for Trevor. Well, now fast forward to this year, uh, I won't lie, I did get super hyped. Obviously, we shut out the Colts week 1. We ended up beating the Chargers in week 3. Even though Justin Herbert was a little whatever, but I'll
Banged
take
up.
a win any way I can. But
Facts.
then you said then we lost the next 5 straight. What I'm seeing from the Jacksonville Jaguars is that I think Um, the loss of James Robinson, in my opinion, I don't think we should have traded James Robinson. I do like Travis Etienne, don't get me wrong, but I personally just don't think he's a bell cow back. I don't think you can hand the ball off to him 20, 25 times a game. He's a really good change of pace back, the third down back. He can catch out the backfield. And then you use James Robinson as your pounding back. But now the roles are reversed. We got Etienne, you know what I'm saying? We have ETN as our every down back, which is cool. Now with Trevor, um, he makes Trevor again still working out the kinks, still, trying to get his foot in under him. There's some throws that I see that I'm like, yes, Trevor, this is why we drafted you number 1. This is why you are going to be our franchise quarterback. And then I see some throws like, come on, Trevor, what you thinking? What are you seeing? So realistically, again, our division is very let's say very easy. It's very winnable. Obviously, we only really have to worry about the Titans. The Colts are, even though we're in third place, it's like the Colts are
Mid.
whatever. And yeah, and then the Texans are terrible. They're probably the worst team in the NFL. But besides the Lions, I'm sorry. Uh so
And the Panthers. The
so
Panthers are sheesh.
uh terrible. So yeah, so our division is very winnable. I don't necessarily think we're gonna compete with Tennessee just because Tennessee, that running game is just Derrick Henry is a beast, man. Really and truly, Derrick Henry is a beast, and
Bro,
we
he's
knew that
six
from
four,
Alabama.
six
So
four, 250.
it's ridiculous, man. I always just think back that you ever seen that picture of Derrick Henry standing next to Mark Ingram, and he
Yeah,
just looks like a monster of it. And Mark Ingram is a big guy, like
yeah, yeah.
like that's
Mark
crazy. But
Ingram's like 5'10", 5'10", like 230 or something like
something.
that.
Yeah, but I'm saying like he's solid,
Yeah, yeah,
and
he's
Derrick
solid. He's
Henry is just towering over him. So yeah, the Jags, I think we're still on that pace. I mean, again, we're 3-6. We're right there in the thick of things. Something, who knows? Something could happen in Tennessee. Something, I think we're still in the hunt to compete for our division, but 7 wins is still doable for us. I think we can definitely do it. We'll see. I think we have the Chiefs next.
Yep.
I'm not mistaken. I think the Chiefs,
Next
and
week.
then I know we got the Ravens after that on the 27th because I'm going to that game. So
Nice.
yep, yep.
So ETN had a slow start to the year, right? He had a
He
slow
did.
start. We saw James Robinson. I was at that Washington Commanders game week 1, and he had 2 touchdowns, and he was doing his thing for sure. But I felt
Hmm.
like they always wanted the ETN to be that guy for them because
Yeah.
the reason why they drafted Trevor Lawrence is because they want him to play like he did in Clemson. They want him to throw 40 times a game. They want him to throw 4 TDs a game, 0 interceptions, have 400 passing yards around there, right? And
Hmm.
with that type of offense, you can't have a running back like James Robinson because, like you said, he's a bell cow. He's a
Hmm.
dirty down back that he's gonna get those third and twos, third and ones. He's gonna get you that first down,
Yeah.
but they gotta have a running back like ETN. I get why they want just ETN because the dude can catch the ball. The dude's like a receiver playing running back. He's like Debo Samuel out there. He's like like
Hmm.
I'm not gonna say that he's Debo Samuel. Obviously, Debo Samuel is freaking
Yeah.
amazing. But ETN, he's starting to show now because in the past 2 games, this
Hmm.
game and last week, he scored touchdowns, and
Yeah.
he's getting when it comes to fantasy, he's getting 25 more points a game. But when it comes to real life, he's getting like 40 yards of reception yards, and then he's getting like 80 yards of rushing yards with a TD in the last 2 weeks. I'm not talking about before.
Hmm.
So I feel like it's perfect for you guys on your offensive play, and that's why you guys went to go get Christian Kirk in the offseason, paying him a freaking bag for no reason, in my opinion. But and then you got Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram is another athletic tight end. He's I think he
Hmm.
played basketball in college, if I'm not mistaken. But
Yeah.
you got some weapons that you guys got on offense, right? It's just
Hmm.
that last year, like you said, like it was just a wash because of Urban Meyer. This guy did not bring in
Mm.
culture. This guy did not bring in intelligence. This guy came from
Nope.
college to NFL. It's completely different, bro. It's completely different.
And I didn't want him.
And
I did
no
not want
one
him at
wanted him.
all.
No one wanted him to
I
come to
didn't
the
want him at
NFL,
all.
bro. He should have stayed over there in college, bro. No one wanted him.
Hmm.
So now you got Doug
But
Peterson. Go ahead,
mhm.
go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say that, along with what you were saying as far as the weapons, I mean, next year, hopefully, it'll be even better because we just traded for Calvin Ridley from the Atlanta Falcons.
That's
So
another thing. That's another
yeah,
thing. Yep.
I won't lie. When I first seen it, I was not enthused because the reason why I wasn't enthused was because I was saying to myself, well, why would we trade and give up assets for a guy that can't help us this year? Are we punting on the season? Are we saying
No,
that,
that's exactly what's
hey,
happening.
yeah, yeah. Are we saying, oh, well, we're just going to get ready for next year? If that's the case, obviously, I don't want to hear that as a Jags fan. But what I will say is that now that I've had time to process it, and things like that, Calvin Ridley could be a very good asset to us, because I mean, we'll
100%.
still have, of course, obviously, we'll still have Christian Kirk under contract. Marvin Jones will kind of be moving into his second phase of his career, like, where he'll either be tradable or, we can let him go. So, maybe Calvin Ridley, and Calvin Ridley was good, with Matt Ryan and things of that nature. So it could help us. Obviously, it's not going to help us till next year, and hopefully he's not betting on games right now. Because listen, I'm there's no way we gave up assets and this man can't help us till next year. I was like, what's up? What's going on,
Yeah, yeah.
Jacksonville? But
But like if you think about it though, right? Because I was gonna allude
mhm,
to this, right? You bring in Doug Peterson, Super Bowl winning
yeah,
coach. He knows how to bring a team
mhm,
together in the locker room. He knows how to
mhm,
get that winning mindset into players, right? You
mhm,
start there, right? Now you got a quarterback in his second year. In his first year, he was super nervous under a rookie coach that should have never been in the NFL. So
yeah,
that was literally a year wasted off of Trevor Lawrence's NFL career, honestly.
yeah,
Now he's coming into his second year. He's looking more comfortable. He's going out there. He's processing. He's reading the defense. He's like, okay, this guy is gonna do this. This guy's gonna do that. Okay, so maybe I can hit this guy on the out. Or look, you know what? I'm gonna run the ball.
mhm,
Yesterday I saw him run for like 26 yards on one play, and I
yeah,
think he ran like 3 attempts, 4 attempts. So
yeah,
he can mix it up too. Obviously, he's not Lamar Jackson, Michael Vick, or Justin Fields,
no,
but he could
no,
still go out there and get you some yards, right? So you got
yeah,
starting quarterback Trevor Lawrence. It potentially is good for you guys. ETN
mhm,
starting to show out already 2 weeks in a row, even 3 weeks.
yeah,
But the week before that, he didn't have a touchdown. So we're not
yeah,
gonna give him that. And then you got the receivers, like you said, Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley was
mhm,
number one in the Falcons when Julio Jones was down. So
yeah,
he was doing work for sure. Christian Kirk was doing work with Kyler Murray. Obviously, he wanted some money. He wanted to get out of Arizona, so he went to Jacksonville.
yeah,
And then you got a great tight end in Evan Ingram. He's not like one of the top tight ends in the league, but he can still
mhm,
catch and get you some yards and maybe some touchdowns. So I think your offensive arsenal is there, and then your defense has been there for years. I feel so. I don't know. There's a lot of potential to see
yeah.
how we go.
Yeah, the defense just looks different, obviously because I'm assuming you're alluding to our 2017 year when we had the number one defense in the
Yeah.
NFL when we
Till
were
till
really
now.
set.
Till now.
Well, yeah, when we were really Saxonville. Again, obviously, that was completely different because we just had a bunch of players that could really, play the game with Calais Campbell, Yannick Ngakwe. We had a rookie Josh Allen. We still had Miles Jack. We had was what was it, Malik Henderson from the Broncos that he had just won that Super Bowl in 2015. Then
Oh,
came
okay.
to us. So we had guys. We had Jalen Ramsey. We had AJ Abuye on the other side, which unpopular opinion. I think AJ Abuye played better than Jalen Ramsey that year, but Jalen Ramsey, he's the one that made All Pro or something like that. But anyways, so we had a really good defense then. Our defense is just kind of different now, with obviously with Javon Walker and Josh Allen is still there. We pretty much don't have Josh Allen is really the only person from that 2017 team that we had. So it just looks a little bit different now. But you're right. Our defense is solid. Like it's solid enough. And with the offensive stuff, I'm really excited in how this goes because like I said, we still got both Jones, Marvin Jones, and Zay Jones. If Calvin, we can put Calvin Ridley on the field with Ingram. We still have our other backup tight end, O'Shaughnessy as well. Um, and then Captain Kirk on the other side. I think we're headed in the right direction. And again, ETN. Even though I didn't necessarily want to draft ETN that high, but it's fine. He's definitely proven me like, yo, Rich, I can play for real. So
Put
I
me
like
on,
seeing that.
coach. Put
Yeah,
me in,
exactly.
coach.
So again, with all of that said, and us having a very winnable division, and because I mean, moving forward, who knows if Tennessee is really going to be Tennessee because they're going to have Malik Willis, and you see he played last night. There were some good things that I saw from him, and obviously some other things. rookie stuff. I think he'll get better, but I think that'll probably be our main competition in the AFC South is Tennessee. So that's what we're gonna have to worry about moving forward.
Yeah, yeah, and like you said,
Yep.
next week you guys play against Kansas City, so that's gonna be a tough game. Um,
I don't
but
know. I don't know if it's gonna be tough. We might blow them out. We
oh,
might blow.
they,
Listen,
uh,
42-0 Jags in
yeah, yeah.
Kansas City.
I think you wake up. Fuck, it's time for the game.
Damn, that's tough, man.
Oh man, nah, but you guys got potential for sure. This
Hmm.
year, I think you guys are already, like you said, I think you guys are already settling in that you're not gonna make the wild card spot, but some years it just ain't for you. But you got a lot of potential for next year for sure. There's a lot to look
Yeah,
forward to next year. I think next year you could give the Titans run for their money, and
yeah, I
you
think so.
depend on Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is gonna be that dude, bro. He's gonna be that
Yeah,
dude.
I think so.
100%.
I think so. A lot of people are hating on Trevor Lawrence, and I don't necessarily understand why. Because you know what it is? It's because when we look at like quarterbacks like Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, and Josh Allen, like everybody wants a microwave quarterback, microwave franchise quarterback. It doesn't happen like that. Just 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago, quarterbacks were not playing immediately. You got to think a lot of quarterbacks were drafted and they either sat behind a veteran for a year or whatever the case might be to learn some stuff. It's rare that a quarterback was starting day one. Kind of, I would say maybe like from what was it, that Alex Smith kind of draft on. So was that like 2005, I think Alex Smith got drafted. Then you kind of started seeing like the new wave with like then it was the RG3 Andrew Luck, and then
Yep.
after them came all those other quarterbacks and stuff. So give the man time. It's not gonna happen. A year, maybe even 2 years for everybody. But I would say, by the third year, you should start, kind of seeing, who this guy is going to be and stuff. And, because everybody obviously, a quarterback's first 5 years is probably your best chance to, capitalize on a championship. Why? Because they're cheap. After that fifth year, that's when you're going to have to pay quarterbacks. You know what I mean? So, it's, that's what everybody wants. They're trying to win while their quarterback's on their rookie contract. So sometimes it doesn't happen like that. But I think I like Trevor. I like what he's doing. He's getting better, that I can see. And yeah, I'm not gonna punt on this season. I still think this season is we could try to make some noise and stuff maybe towards the end. If something happens in Tennessee, who knows? We could do that. But next year for sure, I definitely think we're gonna be competing right there with the Titans.
I mean, statistically, you guys are 3-6. So if you win every single game, you guys could still make the playoff. So there's still statistically there's still hope.
Oh yeah, I mean you're absolutely right. I think we 2.5 games behind Tennessee. So I mean, if we go on a little win streak in Tennessee, lose a couple games, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
I just
And
know December
we gotta.
18th you're gonna lose though. I just know that.
No, we're not gonna. Listen, the Cowboys. I can't wait to go to that because I already know the stadium is gonna be filled with Cowboys fans.
hundred
Because when I
percent.
went to the Giants game, that's all it was Giants fans. There was so many Giants fans. And I already know the Cowboys fans gonna be ridiculous. I might get into a fight that game because Cowboy fans are different. They are. They really are. They
Yeah,
really are.
yeah, they are. They are. I'm a different type of Cowboys fan, but I
That's
know
why,
what you
yeah,
mean.
yeah.
I know what you mean.
Hmm. You
Um,
actually have sense and rationale. You know what I'm saying? You don't go off emotion.
yeah, facts. Well, sometimes I go off emotion.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. That's what sports is. It's emotional.
Yeah, man. Hey, I appreciate you coming on, man. But before we get out of here, bro, put in your plugins. Let these people know where they can follow you and what's up with that podcast, man.
Facts. Listen, you can follow me on Instagram at Sports Vibes Podcast. You can follow me on Twitter, Sports Vibes Pod. You can also find me on YouTube, Sports Vibes Podcast, where you know the vibes. Again, I just want to say thank you, G Money, for having me on. It's an honor to be here. Listen, we could talk sports all day.
All
You
day.
feel me? All day, every day. You know what I'm saying? And now it's my turn. You don't have me on twice. I ain't even had you on my show yet, so don't worry.
But we be busy though. We be busy.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Listen, don't worry. Once you graduate, you'll have more time. You feel me?
Facts.
But yeah, so that's where the people can find me at. Again, thank you so much, GMoney, for inviting me. Shouts out to all your people and everybody, in the G perspective, man. I appreciate you having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And guys, before you get out of here, you guys know where you can follow me on Twitter at GMike Perez, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at GMike Media _. And then the podcast, the audio version itself, is under the G Perspective on all podcast platforms. Dicky, thank you, bro. Hey, you already know we're going to do this again. A couple weeks, couple months, whatever the hell.
Listen, NBA all day. You feel me?
Sure, yes, sir.
That's what we love. You feel me? But all right, GMoney, man.
All right,
man. Care, bro. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right.